Yoshimi battles the Pink Robots on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me is Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
Good morning.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to own up straight away. I've done very little work towards this show this week. I'm a little bit busy.
You surprised me.
Yeah. So I apologise if it sounds a bit sort of.
Thanks for being honest, though. Rick.
Well, no, I don't. I don't want people to go. Oh, no, that was a bit shoddy this week. I hope it's not going to be that every week. Yeah. So it is because I've done very little preparation.
Okay.
So
right.
Whereas
normally
you'll probably have to help me out.
All right.
You have to do some of the work. Karl, you might have to help us out a little bit as well.
I don't know. But,
because I know Steve's done nothing towards it either. So the onus is on you a little bit here. I love the fact that it's still listed as either Ricky Gervais or Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. In the,
essentially, we don't need to be here, really.
No, but I know now people listen for Karl. Everyone I've spoken to, for people on buses, to comedians like Ross Noble mentioned you the other day, and they go.
People on buses.
I've never been on a bus.
You haven't been
years.
on a bus for like 12 years.
Yeah.
Have you? People on buses. I don't know why I find that so funny. I just know the idea of you being on a bus. The idea of you handing over your fare.
They're shouting out from the window. Right. They're going, "I love Karl."
Right. Yeah.
I'm walking along.
How much is it on the bus?
20 pence.
No, come on, seriously. How much is it?
One adult to the terminus, please.
I love the fact, they do that thing where, like, if they're interviewing
Paul
Newman or someone famous.
No, it's a quid, isn't it? It's a quid.
They always say, how much is a pint of milk? And that's supposed to prove if you're sort of still in touch with your roots or whether you're too big a celebrity.
Yeah.
You've got no idea how much it costs on the bus.
Quid?
It's not a quid.
120.
No, it's not 120.
Pint of milk, about 50p. 30p.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow.
Because, it's fascinating, because you gave this stuff up before you became a celebrity, didn't you? You were always
lazy.
Because people always say to me, like, Ricky seems a bit obnoxious.
Who says that?
No, they say,
no. Who comes up to you and just says that?
The guy on the tube did it. I swear to God, he came up, he said, I was watching an interview with Ricky, he said, he's not a nice piece of work. I went, he said, no, I've got friends like that. And it's like they're always talking, they're a bit irritating, and you sort of let them off because they're your mates. But I was going, well, hang on a minute. He went,
well, two things. It's sort of my job talking, and being interviewed, essentially you do have to talk.
Yeah, so about yourself.
If that's his only criticism, then I'm not too bad.
No, he didn't think you were funny either. In fact, he had a whole list. I say a list, a petition.
It wasn't Dickie Anderson, was it?
It wasn't Richard Anderson.
I hope he's listening.
He's our biggest fan.
I'll tell you what, Mock Turtles need a remix by Fatboy Slim, don't they?
Mock Turtles? It's a great tune, but I'd love to hear it remixed.
Yeah. Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? Remixed by Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais. Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Ooh, stuff to do.
What's going on?
Stuff to talk about and that.
What's been going on?
Before you came in. Oh, you saw it, didn't you? That experiment I was doing with the...
An experiment?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is as I walked in the building, I passed the little kitchen area, you were hitting Karl on the head with a tin tray.
Didn't it make a good noise?
It was a great noise. But I'm interested, explain more about the experiment.
Well, I wanted to see how hard I could hit him and make it resonate. Right, before I either caved his skull in, or, you know what I mean? So, you had to hold it quite loose, so it could, vibrate, but you had to grip it hard enough to give it a good whack. Right. And his head's brilliant for hitting stuff on. Is it? It is perfect.
Karl, could we recreate that moment a bit later on the radio?
You'll notice that you've been on for 15 minutes, I haven't said a word. It's had a bit of an effect on me. It's still a little bit shaken.
Okay.
Oh dear.
But yeah, do it again later.
We were talking about your head a little bit earlier, weren't we?
It's not going to mean that you're sort of a bit, fuzzy thinking, is it?
It'll be alright.
Yeah.
So...
Okay, can we recreate that later, maybe towards the end of the show? Just hit you on the head with various objects, see which make the best sound?
He said talking about Time Out. I said something about in Time Out, and he went, yeah, do you read that? I went, yeah, I read it, get it every week, yeah. He went, there's no point though, is there? Because it's like a telephone directory. If you want to look something up, you look it up, but you'd never sort of browse the telephone directory. And I went, that's an interesting point. He went, although I did. When I was in Scotland, I just looked up how many Macs there were, and there was 42 pages of them. How bored are you in your hotel room in Scotland to suddenly start working out how many people start with Mac?
Were you sat in your room? There was nothing else that you could think of to do?
I've been working. It's when we did the show from, XFM did some stuff from Edinburgh.
Yeah. You were sat in your hotel room?
Sat in the room, waiting to sort of go out and get some food and that. sat there.
Why were you waiting to go out and get some food?
Because we were all going to meet up. We're going to meet up with, with Simon.
So you thought, I'm not going to switch the TV on. I'm not going to read a magazine.
The telly was on. Nothing was on. I wasn't impressed with anything that was on. So I'm looking around the room. I had a couple of the free shortbreads.
I love the fact he remembers.
Yeah.
He remembers a specific biscuit he had.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I had a couple of them, and then looked around. There was a Bible, and I thought, well, I know about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing in that I don't know. So, got the phone book up, and immediately thought, there's a lot of Mac this and Mac that in Scotland.
Yeah.
Macintosh,
Mac Daddies.
Macateer.
Yeah.
There's loads
Return
of
the
names. So I
Mac.
thought, I wonder how popular it is.
I wonder just how popular it is.
42 pages of Macs.
Did you count how many pages there were?
Yeah.
Did you just work out from the numbers on the bottom of the page, or did you literally
No, I
count
counted.
them?
I counted.
Right.
And
how many do you reckon are on a page? There's a lot in there. If
quite a
someone
lot,
could
isn't
tell you approximately how many
And sorry,
names they get on one page.
How long did it take you, this whole procedure?
What, the counting?
Yeah.
Not that
No,
long.
it's
It's
just
got
counting
2
pages.
pages.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
that much.
They're all
And what
together,
did you
luckily.
do once you digested that information? What did you do with that information? Did you tell people
stored it,
when you
haven't I?
went?
I mean, look, how long ago was the Edinburgh Festival?
I stored it along with the biscuit. I love to get in his head. I imagine it's a big warehouse, and there's lots of partitions for weird stuff like kids born with tentacles and things like that.
I imagine there's like quite an old caretaker, and you go in there. You say, "I'm looking for that." He goes, "Hang on, I know where I put that somewhere. Hang on a minute, hang on.
Is this the one when they shave the cat? No, it's not shaving the cat. This is the Max. The Max. Oh, you know, Scotland, the shortbread. Well, don't give me the shortbread because that's putting me off. But
The what's the name though? Do you remember last week I was talking about the airy kid? And
I think that's every week, Carl. That doesn't narrow it down.
alright, well, we were talking about that airy kid in the woods, and did a bit more research this week.
Okay.
Found a good story out about a monkey,
Right.
which I'll tell Ricky a little bit about it.
Tell
didn't I?
me, come on, tell it now.
No,
Right.
no.
Well,
Tease
I
me
reckon
with
we
it.
should keep this.
It sounds exciting stuff.
That's got 'em, right? So we'll be doing that. we've
That's
got
hooked the audience.
we've got Rockbusters again this week.
Yeah,
We've got Do We Need 'Em?
yeah. What
Right.
are you trying to get rid of this week?
Cockroaches.
Right,
No,
good one.
I can't think of a reason to keep them.
No.
Looking into that, well, I sort the matter out. That's
Okay.
coming up.
Excellent.
We've got, I'm teaching you some more stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He phoned me up today. Yesterday it was. He knows he's been researching, like, just educating Ricky. He said, what do you want to know about? I don't know. He said, you interested in space? And I went, yeah. Phones me 3 hours later. He went, no, nothing about space. I went, what? He said, I couldn't find anything interesting. I said, you couldn't find anything interesting about space.
Yeah.
It's big.
It's pretty interesting, Carl.
He went,
It's big, but there's nothing there. That's it's like the Millennium Dome.
oh,
So
God.
what I'm looking at, right?
But no, wait. He said, is there anything else you want to know about? I went, alright, I went, anthropology. He went, what's that? I went, study a man. I sent a man. He went, like what? I went, like, our roots from caveman through and all the, he went, I said, Australopithecus, Neanderthal. He went, well, you know all that then? I went, no. He went, right. He went, do you want to know how a lung works or something? How a lung works? And I said, well, tell me how a fridge works. He went, oh, I said, it's just the gas, isn't it? I went, brilliant. I went, tell me how a microwave works. He went, I know. I went, no. I said, fella walking past in a laboratory with a bar of chocolate in his pocket, went past some sort of ray thing, it melted it, and he went, hold on. That's it. That's explained to me how a microwave works. Right.
So today we're doing sort of medical-ish type things under the banner of colon. Then educate me.
Oh, God.
Do it again.
Colon. Then educate me.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So that's like go on then. So
Yeah.
colon.
Brilliant.
So that's a little heading. You're going to be learning 3 things sort of medical-ish
Yeah.
before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, do you want to,
Pretty much, yeah.
a bit of suede?
Go on then.
How many O'Reillys are there, do you think? No, little task for you.
Suede, animal nitrate. That's really got a Johnny Marr influence at the end, that guitar, isn't it?
Brilliant.
And they still, yeah.
Still brilliant.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Karl.
You're going to love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy. Right?
Yes.
No!
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened. He lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
what happened. That's what happened.
looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo,
Oh dear.
right? So
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people. You're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes.
Well,
Is it dangerous?
what do you mean? What type was it? Do you
Just
mean it was
let
a
him tell the
Was it
story.
a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp. Yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you
a
don't
chimp.
even know,
It
so
was
it's
a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a chimp.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
do they
and
go on
he's-
holiday together?
Well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off
pool together.
starts off just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while. You know, they're getting on well and that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright,
Oh God.
Yeah.
right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks he could live at home with me, this,
Yeah.
because we're getting on the storm,
Yeah.
right? So he takes him home, and before
Is
you
this the
know it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
right? So
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. PG tips.
It finishes the day off with
Oh dear.
Finishes the day off with what?
It
With
does,
a
it doesn't
little
have to
brandy.
move a piano at one point,
He
does it?
finishes the day off with a little brandy.
yeah.
He pours himself. Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Carl. You're
Listen,
a maniac,
listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is
Becomes
hairless,
hairless.
right? Apart from his head, right? So he's got a
Right.
nice.
So
got a
it's the
head.
opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah.
this is what
well,
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if it
How
died?
did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
All right,
can
well,
see if
okay,
I've gone
keep
wrong.
going, keep
so
going.
anyway, so
Wow.
so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying.
well,
he's
it
got
gets
his
to a
other
point when he
chipmates
says,
round.
"There's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there."
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, "You stay at home." So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me. I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary. Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well done.
what
Listen.
about
What do you mean? What about it, Carl? It's obviously not true. It's obviously not true.
that? This wasn't on the internet. This was in a book. So it's not a quick joke and just put it on a website. This is in a book.
I don't understand how the
I
monkey...
love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he, that
What
is-
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing,
I
Carl?
love the fact that-
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing like, Trivia Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Alright.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you in?
It's just the way I'm feeling.
Feeder. Just the way I'm feeling. XFM 104.9. I love that. Carl, you're panicking. You've just remembered a song from your childhood, and I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to give out a number. Please take this number down if you can help, Carl. It's 08700 800 1234. Right.
I'm not that bothered. We were talking about a track from the 60s,
Yeah.
Mighty Quinn,
Yeah.
and it was on the same compilation. My dad had a tape in the car, and the tape was always on in the stereo thing in the
Yeah.
car. And I used to sort of sit through all this stuff I didn't like, but knowing that coming up soon was a song about a monster with purple eyes.
It wasn't
monster
Puff the
with
Magic
purple eyes.
Dragon.
It wasn't that.
A monster. There must be something else about it that give people.
Do you remember a chorus or a few lines?
It says something like, it was a one-eyed, it had big eyes, purple, and it eats people or something.
The big-eyed purple eater. Wasn't there a song called something like that? The big-eyed purple...
And it was a hit,
I'm
was it?
sure there was. A song which is something like the intergalactic purple eater or something like that. It's a novelty song. Rubbish.
What, by the Bonzo Dog?
Yeah, it's that sort of thing, yeah. I'm sure
Well, if you know what Karl... Look, the telephones have gone mad!
Yeah, well, we'll find out in a bit. I mean, I'm not that bothered, I'm not going to buy it, it's just that we were talking about songs and that. It'll be good to know who it was, but...
Yeah.
Right, Rockbusters.
Okay, now how long... Where did you get
Answer
the...
the phone.
What, do you want to just answer
Well,
that?
answer the phone, so just answer the
yeah,
phone.
see what it is.
Just see... Some...
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Alright.
Yeah, that song, I don't know if it's by, or is that what you want?
That's the bit I wanted, really.
What's the name of the song?
Well, you know how it goes, it's like, born nights on a dawn at a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Sorry, I don't think you've helped much, though. You can't remember what it's called or who it's by.
Well, no, I mean, I know the tune, but that's about it.
But he's
It
done
seems
well,
to me-
Steve,
yeah,
he's
but-
done well. He's given up his spare time to call in and sing us a song. Don't diss him.
Rick, I'm concerned he's just only marginally remembering it more than Karl is.
It was actually in, I think it was in the Blob, no, it was in something like the Blob, actually. I think Steve McQueen was driving away and it was running in a sequence.
This is so very familiar. See if thanks very much, mate. See if we can get a title off someone.
And XFM.
Hello, yeah, I know the name of that tune.
Go on.
It's the Purple-Eyed People Eater?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And who's it by?
Yeah, well, I'm just at work and,
Who is it by?
just came to my mind.
Do you know who it's by?
I don't know who it's by, mate, sorry.
This is not enough information. I wouldn't phone in
We
if I only
didn't
had half
ask
the
Lewis,
information.
but we asked him just what the tune was.
But I want someone like Paul Gambaccini to call in. He knows what chart position it got to.
Okay, right. Thanks
I
very
don't
much.
think this is enough information. That's two people.
The thing
We barely
is,
got
if
any
you know the
information
title,
from.
we can put it in the internet, can't we, and find out who did it.
Yeah.
That's full of
Brilliant.
information.
Well, thank you very much for calling in.
I don't know why they bothered, frankly.
Right, listen,
Sorry, Rick, no, I mean, I just think if you're going to bother to call in a radio station, have the facts. Have all the facts you have.
He hasn't got the facts, and he runs the radio station.
He doesn't run it. They keep him here like a mascot. He's like a pet, isn't he? They have him running around the office.
God.
Now listen, it's Rockbusters. I've got the prizes here. Rick, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've given away some shoddy stuff in the past. This
But
is
this
the worst
absolute
collection.
tat, is it?
This is really scraping the bottom of the barrel, Carl. I mean,
Hold on, the
how
phone's
many
going
more of
mad.
these can we give away?
If you're still phoning, hang up because we're not going to bother anymore. We're really sorry about that. Maybe email us or something.
How many of these can we give away?
Look at that. It's only Fools and Horses.
It's
video.
the Christmas special from not this year, the year before.
Yeah.
I mean, we have given away so many of these. I imagine there's charity shops throughout London
Throwing them
these
away.
in. Yeah, throwing them away.
Yeah.
So we got that,
dear.
and you know, if you didn't watch it, you know, if you weren't one
It
of
was a
the
big
20
green,
million that watched it,
blue-eyed, fat-legged, purple-eater people. If they had a big and had a big boo. It's something like that.
and once again, the best chill-out album ever, with, I mean, this pretty much rubbish.
It was a big boo.
Actually, no, the songs were okay, but
Purple-eater.
it's just basically a collection of songs you might have heard on adverts. So enjoy that. Oh god, this one again, the best air guitar album in the world, Volume 2.
This is no longer an entertainment show. This is three people chatting to each other now and again. Sometimes we remember it's going out. Sometimes we just take a call for our own amusement. I mean...
It's the same price again.
guy-
It's the David Attenborough compilation of DVDs, which I'd be very surprised if actually makes it to you. I imagine someone here will have had that long before we post it.
Oh dear.
There's a T-shirt in here. This is-
XFM 104.9.
You get sent a lot of
Just
crap
in case you're wondering
T-shirts.
what you're listening to. You're
This
listening
is a
What is
Quicksilver
that?
T-shirt.
What is
That's
that?
fine.
What T-shirt is
That's
that?
a T-shirt made by the Quicksilver people. So if you're a bit of a surfer dude, and by the look of the size of it, you're a midget.
You can't
then
say midget.
You're welcome to it. And this is, I think, the piece de resistance, Rick. I mean,
What?
because you know the kind of fans we have. They're pretty cool cats, pretty
Yeah.
groovy guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So I imagine they'll be loving on DVD Doctor Who, the Aztecs. That's one of William Hartnell, the first Doctor's classic episodes on DVD.
God.
There.
You know,
Rubbish. That's rubbish, Carl. Those prizes.
you-
I'm ashamed to give them away.
Carl,
frankly.
you know our mate Johnny, he's a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Do you remember, he bought, the Doctor Who magazine, and he went, to the toilet, and Steve got post-it notes and put geek on every page. And Johnny opened it on the tube, right, and it had geek and everything. And Johnny bought in the new Doctor Who magazine, I think this week's or this month's, right? And they've done the perfect Doctor Who fan, right? What the geek is, right? And it looks exactly like Steve.
All right, don't have a go, really.
It does. And, he went, and I'm going to try and put it on the website. It's amazing. It's got your hair, glasses. It stands like you. It's sort of dressed like you, and it's only. It's hilarious. And he was. I mean, I'm insulting you now. It sounds like an insult, but if you'd see it, you'd laugh. Well,
Rockbusters, right?
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Just a little bit annoyed.
Just 3 clues.
We've lost all the energy in this show, haven't we?
Well, I can't get over that insult. I'm just a little...
No,
Three.
we did though.
It just
It
came
was
out,
sort
no,
of-
I can be honest with
things,
you. It
3
came out of left
clues.
field. I wasn't expecting an insult.
No,
And,
but
I thought there
it
was a
is.
sense of camaraderie on this.
No, I'll bring
Just
it in,
email
and
in
you'll see what I mean.
Right, play a record. I'm just
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
annoyed. I can't
What are we
listen to
doing?
Rockbusters
I'm
too.
just reading out the clues.
Should we put this? Let's put this one in for the Sony Award. Let's put this show in for the Sony Award.
Play a song, Carl, because I need to discuss things with him. I've talked before about in
Edit it down. Get this down to 3 minutes. It'd be a great show.
Rockbusters in a minute.
Lonesome Day by Bruce Springsteen from his new album The Rising on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Foreman just phoned in and said to Karl, stick up for yourself, don't listen to that Merchant, he does my head in, he's so arrogant.
I don't think I'm arrogant. I think I'm mean.
Yeah.
I just think I'm sort of objectionable. I don't think it's arrogance. I think
No.
it's sort of nastiness.
Yeah.
I'm just not a very nice person. But believe me, I'm not arrogant. I think I'm pathetic. We've had a lot of emails saying, could you bring back White Van Karl?
Oh, yeah.
Which is that section of the show where we ask the questions that the Sun asks
Someone
various
else.
random punters
Yeah.
of Karl. But sadly, recently, they've got very politicised and very kind of, basically a little bit depressing. So there's not really anything appropriate. But I have trawled the papers looking for other questions posed in other sections of the Sun.
Good idea.
I was just looking here at the Dear Deirdre section, which is the sort of problem page. I don't know what your views are
Oh,
on
I'd
this.
love to see Karl. Oh, God, can we get him a job?
As a
Just
negative.
ask... Oh, my God, that would be amazing. Right?
Well, here's one. I'd like to see your view on this, Karl. I'm a happily married 42-year-old woman with 4 kids, yet I've developed a huge crush on pop star Darius Dinesh.
Yeah.
It sent my hormone levels through the roof,
Yeah.
and last night I woke my husband up at 4 a.m. for sex. We've been married for 20 years and he can't believe his luck. Recently I've been having...
I want to go to I'll stop you there. Why are you telling me? Right, carry on. Sorry.
Recently, I've been having erotic thoughts about Darius morning, noon and night.
Yeah.
I haven't felt like this since I was a teenager and mad about Donny Osmond. My husband is amazed at the change in me. We had sex twice last night and again this morning.
Again, why are you telling me this? Yeah, go on.
He's just boasting. This is not a problem. It's not a problem.
What's
here.
the problem? No problem, just wanted to tell someone. Thanks very much.
I watched Darius on TV last night, and when my husband came home, I dragged him into the kitchen and we made mad, passionate love. Right, they've done it. They did it then, twice last night, once this morning. That's 4 times. 5 times she's mentioned it so far.
Yeah.
She's doing all right. My husband. This is a great bit. My husband thinks it might be his new moustache. Or that I'm going through the menopause, but I
You
know
were thinking
different.
of growing a moustache?
I was
Just
thinking
thinking
of
of
growing a
changing
tash.
luck with the ladies?
I love the idea. That's what he thinks it is. He's telling his mates in the pub. You should
gone
grow
mad
with
to me.
these.
Grow
The
with
old
these,
Tom
right?
Selleck.
5 times in the last 24 hours.
Hooray for sexy Darius. So, what do you make of that then? What are your views on that?
Hold on though, if that bloke is reading that paper, that narrows it down
It's gotta
a bit.
be, yeah.
Who else did he know? His wife likes Darius, he's had sex 5 times that night, and he grew a new moustache. He's thinking, I wonder if that's me.
Maureen.
Yeah, go on.
But what's your concern? Because I'll tell you what her problem is. She's worried that, the reason that she's now kind of overly excited and she's having this great sex with her husband is because she's actually fantasising about someone completely different, younger. She's having these wayward thoughts, isn't she? She's a bit concerned about that. What's your concern? What are your thoughts?
I reckon she's going to start shoplifting soon and coming out in hot flushes. Go on.
Just, they're both happy, aren't they? He's getting what he wants. She's happy. I'd say, yeah, whatever, get on with it.
Do you think that she
Brilliant.
should confess? She wants to be honest with him.
I wouldn't, because not that many fellas like Darius.
Right.
So if you're sort of thinking, oh, she'd rather have him than me. I don't
What do you
it's
think
gonna work.
Darius would think of this?
He'd probably be happy with that. I mean,
What would
if
you
it said
do
in
if you?
there,
What would you do if you got loads of phone calls, right, from women going, Karl, whenever you're on the radio, I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Your voice makes me.
I'd say, right, well, it's all right. I'd be happy with that.
Would you?
Yeah. I mean, just in case anyone is doing that.
What would you do to sort of like egg them on a little bit to help them out? What do you think?
What sexy things would you say?
What do you think is your quality? What do you think people would find, you know, pretty horny about you? Is it your sort of mank wine? Do you think? Like, just say this, London shit, innit? That
I think say that, but you know, London, it's not that good, is it? Like
oh, I think you've done it there.
So
that's
Say something quite sort of sexy though. Say something like, you know,
well,
I love to love you.
Say
well,
something
I don't
sexy.
say that.
No,
You
say
know,
something
no,
sexy.
Susan says to me, you know, do you love me? I go, yeah, you're all right. Job done.
And I know, the thing is, I know that's true.
Yeah.
I know that's true. That's brilliant.
But because one of the things that Deirdre says is that she's wondering if this marriage is going a little bit stale and needs to be freshened up. They need to give a new spice, a new spin to the marriage. What would you do? What advice would you give to spice up, you know, something that they've been married for quite some time?
Get him. I think get Darius, all Darius things. Get David Snedden's new video on the telly.
What do you reckon, though, Carl?
Just treat them. Do you know what I mean? Just surprise them now and again with stuff. That's what I do.
It's what you got those condoms, didn't you? That you got 2 for
So,
one off.
hang on, what? You've never done that? What? You've surprised Suzanne with what?
You know, I've like.
You stood behind the door and shouted at her when she comes in.
Don't drop the jelly.
Yeah, you know, just the usual stuff. There was some free chocolate delivered to work the other day. I took her a bit of that home.
Nice of you, that's very thoughtful.
She didn't like dark chocolate, but I said, well, that's a thought. So I had it. But
you know, you often benefit from any gift that you give her. The chocolate, the meal, the condoms. There's always something in it for you.
Yeah, there is. I love the idea.
she's got bored with a Christmas present now, though.
What, the condoms?
Yeah.
Or the food that she ate.
No, the condoms.
Right.
Yeah, she's got tired of filling them with water, throwing them at the passing kids, or putting them on her head and inflating them.
I love the idea of asking problems. What do you think of erectile problems? You know that Pele advert? He goes, "Be careful, we haven't got erectile problems. Call this number." What would you do if you're impotent? What would you do?
What's the advertising?
It's just saying, like, you know, if you can't, you know.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Why have they got him doing it?
Well,
Well, he used to, he used to be able to keep it up for hours. The ball, and
yeah. What would you do if you
To advertise that?
No, if you suddenly couldn't get, you know, what would you
I
do?
don't think it'd bother me now.
I know you're 30. What's wrong with
you were talking like you're an 80-year-old.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? You sort of been there, done that now. It's like the boxing and the dancing that I did. It was good as a kid, and now it's like, yeah, take it or leave it.
You need to write to Deirdre.
Supergrass, Seen the Light, XFM 104.9. We're a little bit worried. We might have a technical hitch here. We've had no emails, and usually we get loads and loads. So we're worried it's us. Can someone send an email?
Yeah, just a test email.
Yeah, but we won't know if they have or not. They might just be ignoring us. No one might be listening, Steve, so this isn't proof.
I guarantee there's at least one person who would send an email. Maybe if Dickie Anderson's listening, he could do it for us.
Anders! Do us a favour for all the pleasure we've given you over the last few years.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
If you haven't heard the Rockbusters, might as well give them out.
Well, let's check the email's working before we do
Yeah,
that.
otherwise it's a complete... This whole show has been a sham and a farce and a waste of time.
Well, I think they can take that as read.
Right, educate me, Carl.
Right, well,
Go
like
on,
I
then.
say, right.
Educate me.
Well, what we're looking at this week, we've done war, we've done
We've nailed that. We've nailed war. We summed up war with a little French bloke whose battle cry was "John's got a moustache."
Right. So, and last week we did science.
What would you do on science then?
Airy kid.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
So this week we're looking at medical problems.
I'm sure we do Airy kid every week.
Medical problems. Then I've got a couple of things under the banner of. Colon, then educate me.
Yeah.
We've got, this is interesting, right? Do you know if you have an operation on your brain, right, what they do is, I mean, this is why I'd never go to the doctors. I don't like doctors because this sort of stuff freaks me out, right? They can operate on your brain, and what they do is, they put you to sleep first, cut your brain case open,
Your skull, yeah.
The brain case.
Yeah, yeah.
and then wake you up and operate on you. So you sat there with your head open,
Yeah.
messing with your brain, and you don't feel anything.
Well, there's no nerve endings, is there, in the brain?
But still, it's not right, is it?
What, you think they do it for fun?
No,
They
but
go on, Reg, wake him up so he's all freaked out. Go
well,
on, wake him up.
is it necessary that you're awake, do you think, or...
Well, they need the brain active, don't they?
Yeah, but it is when you're asleep, you're having mad dreams. I had a mad dream the other day.
Go on.
No, I might tell you about it later, but there's no sense to it. But, so your brain's still...
Where is this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it'll turn out, I go, no, Karl, I was there, that wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but... So, I mean, if I had an operation...
On your brain, heaven forbid.
Well, operation anywhere, I'd like to sort of think, well, I'll have an injection, I'll go asleep, but when I wake up, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that...
Your brain case is open.
And they wake you up and you think, oh, is it all done? And they say, well, have a look in the mirror. And your brain...
See, I don't think they do that. I don't think they try and frighten you when you're doing an operation.
Yeah, I don't think that you go about your business and they sort of follow you around, dabbling.
Yeah.
No, but it's almost like they are having a bit of a laugh with you.
Right, well, I'd just like to say now that they don't. Anyone who's going in for an operation on their head, do not ever listen to anything
But
Karl says.
why have you got to be awake? Because you'll be bored anyway, you'll be sat there. They'll
Well,
be
they
messing
give you a
about.
telephone directory, look, and they say, look how many Macs are in there. That's the Scottish telephone directory. And, you know, time flies when you're counting that sort of thing.
No, but do you know, like, when you...
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm just
asking
saying
me?
how weird it is. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, do you know when you go for a haircut, right? It's a bit embarrassing. Well, I don't anymore, but when you go for a haircut, it used to be
When you go for a haircut.
It used to be a bit embarrassing when, like, they'd wet your hair and they'd make you have that sort of Hitler cut because your hair's wet, and I used to hate it, and I think, do you have to do that? Do you know what I mean? You know
It's
what I mean,
similar.
don't
It's
you?
very similar to open skull
No,
surgery.
but what I'm
yeah.
saying is, it's almost like barbers like to do that to make you look daft and feel daft for a bit, and there's women coming in and out, and you're sat there with a daft haircut.
Yeah.
And this is what that reminds me of.
Do you think they do it in a shop window? This brain operation?
I'm just saying, it's a bit
Do you
weird.
think they do it? Why are we doing it in John Lewis's? Just so more
I
people
love
can.
the idea that that's what doctors are doing. Let's make this guy look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Open his brain
Look
case.
at the twatty look with his brain out of his head.
Take a Polaroid. Reg, take
Yeah,
a Polaroid.
Look at him. Look at his face. Right, right. Clock his face when I give him the mirror. Get this on camera.
Put
Karl-
this fake nose and glasses
Sorry,
on.
is that? Did you teach me something then? Was that
I've
educational?
taught you that your brain case can be open with your awake, and you just sat there sort of letting them get on with it.
Brilliant. I've learnt that. I'll never forget that. Right, go on. Anything else?
You'll love... Let's play a song, because the next one is amazing.
What? Even more amazing than that?
Yeah. Play a song?
Yeah. Bit of Bowie.
No email still, by the way.
No, I don't think it's working.
It's not working today.
Lady
so what we're gonna-
Stardust.
We'll have to do a phone-in for Rockbusters.
Off the
Blimey.
Ziggy Stardust album.
Alright.
Bit of David Bowie. When's that ever hurt anyone, Steve?
Never.
Lady Stardust off Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. Karl Pilkington is in the middle of educating me. Colon then, educate me.
Right, so,
I've learnt that you can, you know, fiddle around with your brain when awake. That's brilliant.
I've never been a fan of doctors, though, so this was a good one for me
Yeah.
to look up, because...
Yeah.
Did I tell you the time when the doctor said I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And at lunchtime there was this... We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and did great cakes and stuff, right? So she used to like bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because, you know, they cost money, and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off.
Right.
Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go round the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Scavenging, eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there, and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
Headmaster fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, like, you know, you'd just eat, I don't know, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you'd do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
What's a Congress Congress tart.
I love them. I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them. And
if anyone
maybe-
can get a Congress tart for Karl in London, please let him know.
So anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once, twice a week, you'd have a load of cake.
In your life,
Yeah, that's
So
all
anyway-
day you'll have. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads?
So-
and the horse in the settee? Yeah.
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right? I was like in agony, could hardly walk. So I said to my mum,
You could hardly stagger to the free cakes.
So, I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in because I don't know what it is. I can't walk. She gets the doctor round. I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah,
My mum was panicking.
sure.
He went. My dad came in from work. She said, oh, something's really bad with Karl. I think it's serious. You know, the doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what? He said that and just left? So she said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up, said, what's all this about? You know, Karl hasn't got long left. How long's he got? So he goes, oh, I was only messing. It's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is,
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She
Yeah,
didn't
but
go
she
into
doesn't-
detail.
no,
Well, can you
I-
explain more, Doctor? No, I got to show off.
No, but she doesn't. She doesn't like talking.
you know, I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he been doing? I had about 6 cream cones. Oh, right. Oh, wow. He hasn't got long to live then. I'll see you later. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. I just love the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to probe him. He's that's it then.
Dad comes in. Hi, honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Karl's going to die and then left. Did he? I'll call him.
But anyway, that's why these sort of things fascinate me. So
Right.
we'll move on to this next one, right, which is brilliant.
Go on
Dead
then.
short story. So, right, old woman, about 70 years old. She's normally fit and healthy and stuff. Nothing wrong with her. She's having a good life. And one day, she goes for a check to the doctor's, just to check herself out, 'cause she's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Says, take your clothes off and that. So she does, and checks her out, says, yeah, you're looking good, turn round. He said, oh, God. He says, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right? So she goes, oh, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we could book you in for an operation. It's best if we remove this. Books are in for an operation. Operation day comes, strip her down and that. They're all stood round, the doctors. Start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier, and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Karl.
I can forward you.
I'm
honest.
not, right,
no, listen.
okay, no,
serious.
Right, okay, Karl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm
No.
never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious. Honestly.
You're talking, I've never had such, you are, play a record.
I couldn't believe it.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Stop the record. Right, okay, right, what do you mean you couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said, I've got to tell Ricky
This
that.
woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years, you mental case. Of course she didn't. Syntax, Prey, XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Right, get off. Right, what you got next?
Right, well, running a bit late with this, but it's time for Do We Need 'Em? We're looking into what
I'm really
animals-
worried about this because everyone's getting that last clue wrong. I reckon it's so rubbish that even your mental fans can't work it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but
Give that final Rockbusters clue again.
the Jamaican fella had to have some aspirin. Why is that?
What were the
Why
initials?
did he have to do it?
No,
FD.
hold on, that's changed.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. The
Oh,
story's
it doesn't
still there.
matter. That's the point of a cryptic clue, isn't it? Oh, do. What have you got now?
Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails, I've spoke to someone about jellyfish, and that, and looking at cockroaches today.
Right, now who's the expert?
It's a woman called Jessica Marshall.
Right.
Does she know that you're going to play this on the radio?
Well, I called up, right, in the week and said, can I talk to someone about
Just-
cockroaches? And she was like, is that Karl?
She knows who you are.
Yeah.
Right, so she already knows maybe your angle, your approach.
Yeah, she was
And
up for it.
she's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge. It's got dinosaurs and that in it. It's worth seeing.
What,
And this is
Natural
her.
History Museum?
Yeah. So,
Not sure. He's not sure.
this is
Go
what
on.
happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong. And then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the first thing that I found out is that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knees and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed? Cover
I think
tracks.
you're grasping at straws or something.
All right. Well, we might have to come back to that one then.
Okay.
They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles, holes down the side of the body. So, no, they're not a very apt simile because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to
Their mouths have
slide.
nothing to do with breathing,
So it
only
just.
feeding.
So you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something and
Thought it was.
got bored after 40 minutes
Again,
and
that
said, well, we'll
sounds
call
a
it
pretty
right.
unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all...
You can't do that.
Yeah, but
No. Pretty unkind thing to do anything, even a cockroach.
something else I found out,
Yeah.
they can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in the process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But
Yeah.
then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and, you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying, it was my own fault, and it was nice knowing you.
Well, that would be a useful facility, I agree. But cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're one of the most primitive insects.
All right. Well, I've also... is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest.
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna. Well,
I mean,
it's not-
maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it
and
might
they're
make up.
probably searching out food, and yeah, they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge, and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but
they're-
I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we? You know.
Well, you might not know much about it, of course.
Yeah, but
Not quite reading the right sources.
well, I've been using the internet.
I'm sure there are many useful sources that you could find there, but some of those seem to have been a little misleading to you.
So you don't agree with a lot of what I've told you there.
No,
So cockroaches, can we get rid of them?
no,
So we're keeping them then.
I would say so, yes.
I think we should get her on more often because she sounds like she'd be a bit of an ally, really. Because she knew immediately that you were talking nonsense. She even said, I think you should be more concerned about your sources, which I've been trying to tell you for a year, right? I mean, 18 knees, where did you get that from?
It was on the internet.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you read and take on.
Mad world, don't it?
Right.
The Cure, obviously,
Yeah.
that song.
Right, Carl's been taking phone calls for these clues. Right, and so everyone's been saying the same thing for the last one. He's been going, no, and I'm worried, I'm always worried. FD. I just overheard him on the call, they're going, oh, what have I been saying? Oh, no, it's FP. Dickhead. Right, give me the clues out, it's a rollover. Right, tell people, we're really sorry to anyone who would have got that right. Okay, right, do the clues quickly, tell them it'll be a rollover, so we have to do 3 new ones.
Do you not write these
You're
down,
such
Carl?
I don't write the answers down in case Ricky looks over the thing and sees the answer.
Why would I cheat? I'd rather you do something right with your life.
Right, well, the clues were I've got 3 other jumpers like this one.
Yeah.
That was FT.
Yeah.
You got that? 4 tops.
Yeah, that's alright. Good, well done.
That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they want to sit in the sun or not. That was C. They were getting that. That was charlatans. Charlatan, right? A bunch of them charlatans, right?
What?
What do you mean?
What's Charlie?
No. It's like, shall I go out? Shall we? Charlatans. They got it, right? Where I went wrong with this one, the Jamaican fella, he had to have some aspirin. Why? It's my fault, you know, I'm not cutting, there's no point passing the book or anything. I said FD, a lot of people were saying, Fred Durst, like, forehead hurts, which is a good one,
Yeah, which would have been as good as any of yours.
but I made an error, so we'll roll it over.
No. What is the answer?
We'll roll the
what is the
prizes
answer?
over.
Jamaican fella what? Add some aspirin, why do that? What's the thing?
FP.
FP, it was Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne.
Frida Payne. That's awful. Carl,
Frida-
you've got to write these down next
Yeah,
week.
No,
this
I
is
will, I'm
right.
sorry,
You
I-
are.
You're the producer.
I know, but I've had a busy week, haven't I?
That's
doing
not
stuff for
an
the...
excuse. That isn't an excuse.
Our excuse is we don't care.
Yeah.
You do
put
care.
the work in and
You-
then make a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, it's better not to try than try your hardest and be rubbish. Do you see the point? We don't care.
But you've got standards.
Yeah, and
you're not meeting them.
Think of that. You're not even reaching your standards. God.
Right, well, that's that, I guess. Well, the prizes will be giving those away next week.
Bollocks again.
And,
Just completely.
song for the ladies to end the show with. It's from Nick Cave's new album, Nocturama. This is a track called He Wants You. Back next week.
Remember, Frida Payne. There you go, Feeder, just the way I'm feeling, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard Feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. Spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where people are going to give him sort of like problems to solve. That could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser. So I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never going to lose an animal.
Right.
So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
No,
Be careful.
they're not going to be great.
I
are
just
they?
peeked in, and all I'm going to say to you is Fools and Horses Christmas special.
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little
one.
car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Carl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It was saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve this.
Yeah, I write the clues
A week
down.
before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
Well. So
So I'll give you a little taster. We were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. they've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition. He takes a pill after his meal, as he should after meals. He's only taken Viagra, and now he's stuck in,
Wedged in.
It's
all
gone.
been there.
It's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick. I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation. I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere. Do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial. I like it, Carl.
And he went, so that's that sorted. I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. Another, you won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not. It's too different. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating on him?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down. I'd go, and then he went, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem. Call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake, and two people would get stuck in each
But
other?
you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in if you grew up in his part of
What would you
Manchester.
do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet, and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the
kids-
lads with the big heads and
Yeah.
that?
We should very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands.
Yeah.
Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands
Right.
and big
And
heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I
to
know,
each
they were
other.
completely
No,
separate
but I'm
people.
saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related, and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related that had those two.
I don't think it was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well. Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right. So you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right.
It's,
So
you know.
not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there was this woman who's got a big head,
Oh yeah.
and she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Right?
She couldn't hold it up.
Oh, God.
Okay, shut up.
So
She
when
couldn't hold it up.
when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't. It's hurting
How
my
big
eyes.
was her head?
It's
I
big,
think
Rick.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone, so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just
So
outcrops.
yeah, right. So so the doctor said, we can sort that out, but we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
No,
okay,
well,
so
listen
keep
to
going.
this.
Okay,
Listen,
keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
You're quizzical yourself.
So I looked
suspicious.
at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
He
His Ask.
took a woman's head off.
Yeah. Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Carl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about. It could be about war. It can be anything. But
Or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and
yeah,
light-hearted.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
So you
sort
can get your teeth into.
and actually, you know, sort out.
What, like war?
War is too. It's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do?
Oh,
You don't know?
tricky one. I don't
It's a
get,
tricky
I
one,
don't
it's a
get
tricky one,
involved. I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's it.
Sorry, why are you doing that?
Ooh, slow down.
Why are you doing that?
That's what they say you do, isn't it? If it kicks off.
If what kicks off?
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did they do that in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk beds?
That's just what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No. That'd be daft.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I think they were enamel baths then, though. I think they'd stop a bit of shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes. Well, no, I can relate to that. That's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, "Do you fancy going on this?" He said, "Oh, all right." Then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something, and he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, "I might as well stay on the ground."
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, "How are things? Are you all right?" And that. He said, "Oh, being ripped off." I said, "Why?" He said he ordered. Do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in half?
Yeah.
Right. He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, "Look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue." And he said, "Yeah, we'll go along with that." Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, "That's great." So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, "I'm not happy with this." He said, we said a deal. And I'm like, "Oh, no, don't know what you're talking about." He said, "Right, don't send me your catalogues anymore." He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant." Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes, only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right, so he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, "This catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you." Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, "All right, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you, you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day."
Brilliant.
He said, "You already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, "I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up."
Yeah.
So,
what sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an antique. He's bought.
It's just going up every day. So.
Well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions need to be asked of him.
In fact, I might sit and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Karl.
New single from Nick Cave. I think
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. That's the forthcoming single from Nick Cave from his album Nocturama. That's called Bring It On.
That's great. I must admit, I was a latecomer to Nick Cave.
He's extraordinary, yeah.
I mean, years into his solo stuff before, I decided that he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
He's fantastic. I had some exciting news this week, Karl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly. Because I know you think you'd like things to be quite samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, we've had some crosswords. Because I remember. What did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal.
Do you want to bring it?
I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time. Sort of go, "Well, he's a bit weird."
I love that, Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did
he
say
did.
before?
Yeah, well,
he's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew. I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, "Why's your kid?" He goes, "Oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders."
Right.
It was like that when I saw Karl, and I brought you in, and I went, "What do you think of that, Karl?" I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you've got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't
Well-
look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Carl.
Did you discuss it?
Karl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
Oh, it's
done.
worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
What did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing?
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine. Apparently, it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. It's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
And then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser, doesn't it?
no.
Which always sort of unnerves me
And also,
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're
But-
getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
many.
no,
Because
no.
also, a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to.
No,
Go on, then.
There's a huge. I don't know if this is international. It could even be international. I'm not
Sure.
sure actually. So
Sure.
I could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake,
Sure.
etc. So Fred Durst,
Yeah.
that sort of person. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year. All right, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas. Okay, this year I'm rather annoyed because all I'm going to win is a moped. That's the prize this year. That's the prize this year. A moped.
Whoa! Backtrack.
What?
Sorry. Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
Just
what?
a moped. All I'm going to get is a
All
moped.
you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah, I'm
You're
so
not
g-
you got no chance.
You
You've
haven't
got
enough.
no chance.
You
Who
haven't
else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know lots of them are people you'd never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue. is in
Ding.
this.
So
No.
so you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're going to come behind the other 49.
No,
So
because
you know,
there'll
but-
be people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to he, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rocking.
It is. It is
Ricky
indeed.
Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I came up with a new strand for Karl as well. He's always got, we've done, I don't think there's a week gone where we haven't mentioned an hairy kid.
A hairy child,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah. And some related to a monkey and that. And I thought you could do a regular thing where he's got to come up with a story about an ape or a monkey. And it's called Chimpanzee That.
Of course.
I have got one, but I can't remember it at the moment, so I'll just have to
It'll
think
come to you
about
whenever
that.
you've joined the
Yeah.
show. Well, listen, while you're thinking about that, while you're stewing on that, here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or, just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you, it could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma, something that's happening locally. Anyway, this seems one that I think you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, and they're just generally making mayhem, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, "Oh, piss off." The police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little
it's
old
a
lady
problem.
went and got the A-team, you know. at the
It's
beginning
a,
of the
it's
show.
a, you know, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird because now it has got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? Like years ago when I was growing up on the estate, yeah, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean? You know,
Summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, it did seem that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And
Police are getting shorter and
But
younger.
you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything
but
like these kids
I mean,
here.
the
but
thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right?
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door. and I
Chloroformed
thought-
himself, just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh god, this is the fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love
To
it!
see how far I could
It's
throw
brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering anyone.
Did you
by
invent that game?
that, right?
Did you get the stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Carl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and
Of course it did.
It ate the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it. you know,
Yeah.
in case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh god. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. This is a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, "Go and get the door," and I sort of went, "What?" as if I'd been asleep.
Yeah.
I went to the door, like rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, "What did you run off for? I saw you." I was like, "Oh no," and I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid.
Ooh.
That's all he said.
That's
And
all
he
he said.
looked at me.
And then you fell asleep, and he went, wake up. You know what I said? No, 45 quid.
Now the thing
Carl.
is,
Right.
he didn't have to do
£45,
anything.
Carl. Now, I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? It's like, I knew I did wrong, and I was scared that my dad was going to belt me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, you know, I'll be more careful next time.
But that was clearly good parenting on the part of your father, because these young tykes, clearly they don't have the
what do you do?
the father support.
I don't
do
even.
they?
I don't know
If you were living in that street, very quickly, what would you do? What would your approach be? If you were living in his street?
What if they'd come home, right, and they just vandalised all your pebbles, right, that you'd been saving over the years, and just threw your gravel away? What would you do if they just...
I'd probably clout one of them.
So you'd use violence?
I think it's the only way sometimes.
Sometimes the only way.
And I don't mean, you know, really bad, but I'd show them that I'm not putting up with this.
Right.
And then the problem is you've got their family coming round, and they're probably quite
Go
out.
asleep. If you hit a kid and the dad comes down, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just...
So,
Equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, you know,
Yeah.
a bank job or a murder.
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because if they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head?
Yeah.
Just go, oh, I had a weird dream. It won't work.
It's like with our kid, right? He was. I told Ricky about this the other day in the pub, but it's.
Is this your brother?
It never, yeah.
Because he was a terror, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but it
He
was
did
more,
drive a tank down the high street once, didn't he?
Yeah, that's when he was in the army.
Yeah.
But
Another story.
But this time, I remember my mum and dad were going out right for the evening, and I must have been about 5, so our Mark was like probably 18, something like that, 16, 17, 18. So my mum and dad go out, and our Mark says to me, right, here's a deal, do your little deal. I'm going to have a load of women round. Right? Deal is, I'll let you have your tractor in the house.
Wow, he had a tank, you had a tractor.
but his brother didn't have the rocks that Karl had.
No.
So he needed the
So
tractor
hang
to
on,
put his toys
what kind
along.
of a man was he? He brought a bunch of women round.
So, yeah, there was loads of... But do you know when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, I know what they're up to. You're not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? As long as I've got my tractor, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I was
He hasn't changed a bit.
But how many women did he have round? Was it just him and like a bunch of women?
yeah.
Was it like, what's his name? What's his name? Like Nedwell from Confessions?
Yeah.
Confessions of an Older
What, they all
Brother.
just came round and had a
He
big
liked
orgy?
his women. Seriously, right, my mum and dad had to move because they got sick of women coming round saying, I've got a kid and it's your Mark's. They had to move because it got that bad.
You know, did you hear, when you were playing on your tractor, and there was women running back and forth in underwear, did you ever hear this noise? Did you ever hear that?
Or kind of wow 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 wow
Wow, 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 wow. And just see your brother's arse disappearing down
Yeah,
the thing
exactly.
being chased by a butcher. Did you ever?
It's not important. Is it?
Is that what it's going to be like, do you think, when I'm voted #1 most eligible bachelor in Great Britain?
Yeah, and you come in on your moped.
I mean, no, am I going to get a tractor?
Turing brakes, painkiller. Open brackets, summer rain, close brackets. On XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Rockbusters?
Is it that time?
It is indeed. Last week, of course, it was a disaster.
Yep, every Saturday at 16 minutes to 2, we do Rockbusters.
I have to say that I've not really gone through them, but the prizes look exactly the same as they were last week.
Yeah.
There's that T-shirt.
So it's a
There's
rollover,
still-
but you haven't added to it.
Have you not?
The
added
point of a
anything to
rollover
it?
is you've got to add to it. That's the excitement.
Yeah,
not
there's a couple of albums that were.
Okay, well, it's also
Okay.
the Fools and Horses video with
Oh,
the free.
I don't think I'm bloody jealous of that. I like that little yellow thing.
It's a little. There's a little kind of model three-wheeled van.
Rodney, you plonker.
Oh, dear
What's
me.
that?
This is what looks to be some kind of best of the stereo MCs.
Don't call me a plonker, you wanker.
The David Attenborough DVD collection.
Oh, the hunk shit himself again.
Oh yeah, the big prize that we tried to give away.
you.
Best chill out album.
Cassandra.
Who is that supposed to be an impression of? Which member of the cast is that?
Oh,
Is that Cheeky Dell?
I don't know.
Best chill out album ever, the best air
Brilliant.
guitar volume 2, and of
Brilliant.
course for all our fans, Doctor Who, The Aztecs. That's on DVD, and that's one of the William Hartnell Doctor Who. Alright. That's the worst impression I've ever heard. That's brilliant.
Right, Rockbusters then.
Right, three cryptic stuff. Oh, come on.
Right, Rodney, yeah, Bill.
Three. I can't do it.
No, come on.
Right, three cryptic clues.
Some of which may be wrong.
Yeah, and don't take the letters literally.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
And some initials, and it makes up a band. So here we go then. There's three of them. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yep.
Right, here we go then.
Yep.
Number one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's R.
That's R.
Right.
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Second one. Look, Grant, just get on the boat and help us out.
Alright, give us that again.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Look round, just get on the boat and help us out. What's the initial?
R again.
R again, interesting.
Yeah. And then the third one, if you're going to do that with your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
CK.
Alright,
What's more?
So quickly, all the way through then. Number one, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's R. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And then the last one, if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right, we'll have a bit of vinyl.
Let's have a classic from the Merchant collection.
I like that.
It's not
On
bad, yeah.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. All right, Karl?
Alright.
What's the matter? Huh?
Just, you know what's the matter?
What?
Should I explain?
If you want.
I'm sort of an independent adjudicator, and I couldn't help but notice that you both went out to make the teas, but only one of you came back with a wig made out of that poppy stuff that you pack.
Bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap, yeah. That you
And he
pack
didn't
into-
want me to do it with sellotape, so I kindly did it with elastic bands that I found.
That's nice,
Apparently it hurt his ear, it's cut into his head, and look at him, he's annoyed. I don't know,
There's not many times I've ever done, any form of work really, where halfway through it, let's say a 2-hour live radio show, one of the people has said to the other, "Can I make out of this big cardboard box a bishop's hat for you?"
Well, I did that, and
I start fashioning that.
And
when he should be concentrating on the show.
hurt his eyebrows. So when we went to the kitchen, I kind of did it with elastic bands, and that was cutting into his ear or something. I don't know, making excuses. Oh,
Karl, you are here for Ricky Gervais's amusement. I think if you check the small print of your contract.
have you got anything interesting about a monkey or an ape, so we can do chimpanzee that?
I know something that a lot of other people will know, but I'll
Well, let's do it then.
Chimpanzee. What's it called again?
Well, should we do a jingle?
Well, do a little jingle for us then.
Oh, chimpanzee that!
Brilliant. That's great.
Right.
So I look forward to that every week.
Yeah.
And what's
Go on,
your
then, this is
interesting
interesting
chimp
fact.
fact?
Right, it's about this monkey ages ago.
Of course.
Don't know where it happened.
17th century?
I think it was a chimp. Right.
Right.
Got caught having a fag. Do you know it?
What do you mean, do I know it? Oh, narrow it down. Loads of chimps are caught with woodbines.
Right.
He got caught having a fag.
So it was sent to court, and
Was it underage?
it was
And it got someone to go into the newsagent for him.
Did he get a bigger gorilla
Yeah,
to
got
go
a
into the
bigger
news
gorilla.
age getting 20 Rothmans?
it ended up doing time because it was.
Go
smoking
back a minute.
something.
Wait a minute.
What I mean-
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
I don't know. That's as much as I know. So there's no point questioning.
That is as much as you know, isn't it? Quite literally.
Sorry, but why did he go to prison?
It's against the law to have a monkey having a fag wherever it was.
In a built-up area. What are you talking about? It's against the law for a monkey to have a fag. What if it got it himself? Even if it just... What about if it earned it himself, just like moving tyres round or mucking out
honestly.
the zebras?
I don't know the full story. That's
You don't know the full story, do you?
But do you think?
You never do,
Because I
do you?
presume it was a monkey from a zoo, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be fed up, though? Because in a way, it's home from home, isn't it? When I read it, I didn't think it was that bad because I just
Karl,
thought, well,
they don't put monkeys in prison.
They didn't put the monkey in a prison.
They're overcrowded. They haven't got the space.
Well, I'll find it and give you the where I got it from, and you
Chopper Harris was furious because the monkey got the top bunk.
Yeah.
Can I just
And he did. Okay, then. Oh, chimpanzee that. Another one next week.
I don't think so. Rockbusters, right? Can I just recap?
Yeah, because actually I have to say you've really stumped people this week.
Yeah.
Well, either that or they
God,
just can't
they're
be bothered
wrong.
anymore.
Well, they're wrong again.
No, right.
I think the prizes are so pitiful they can't be asked.
Let me just explain it again, just in case they don't understand it. It's a cryptic clue, right? And it makes up a band, and the initial that I
Sometimes.
give you is the initial that the band or the artist starts off with. So last week, I can't remember, but we did AK, an exploding pet, atomic kitten. That explains
Yeah.
it. So very quickly, number one.
No, last week
Right.
we did FP, that you gave out the clue, FD, Frida Payne.
Yeah, it was an error. So the
They're all
first
right
one,
this week, though, are they?
yeah, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's the cryptic clue, and the letter is R. Number two.
That's the rainy smell, boys.
Right. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And the last one, if you're
That's rigging nanny.
if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. That's CK.
Right.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Plus, keep your problems and queries coming in for Karl. We've got another one as well, which I'd like to give you after the next track, Karl, if I may. All right?
All right.
You've got a problem, haven't you?
What with? Oh yeah.
Listen to this, Carl.
Let's play a record, let's come back with this.
It's an amazing problem.
It's a god-awful small affair.
Wow. You're getting celebrities asking me questions now, Carl. That's David Bowie. Is there life on Mars? Do you reckon?
I reckon there's more going on than just us messing about. I reckon.
I hope so.
I think.
Tell Steve your problem that you aired to me.
Well, do you know, like I'm always thinking about stuff when I'm washing up.
I'm just going to look at Steve for the reaction when this question comes out. Okay.
There's been a few things I've been thinking about. Do you know, like how I tried to confuse a computer by putting in Y in the search engine?
Yeah.
So, along the lines of that, I was thinking in the week, if you put a chameleon on a mirror, what would happen?
Right.
And also, this is a bit of a bigger issue. We're always making more and more stuff, right? In the world, you know, big buildings, big planes, big boats and that. Will we ever get to a point where all this is too heavy for the world to handle?
Right, what error has he made there, Steve? What physical, scientific error has he made there with that question?
I can't begin to explain it.
Carl, we're not getting the rocks from other planets. It's already here. It's like having a big pile of books in a room and then moving them over to the other side of the room and building a thing going, oh, can the room take it? I'm building a lot of things out of these books.
What about plastic? Where's that come from?
Other chemicals that existed on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you see the point?
Hang on a minute, though. What about a little tree? You plant that as an acorn, it grows, Rick. That's bigger. That's more stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him, Carl. He's patronising
What
you.
about acorns and that, though?
Right, they grow from minerals and proteins already in our atmosphere or in our the mass of Earth.
What about a cat, Carl? Right, you get it. It's a very tiny kitten, but it grows up and it's bigger.
Carl, he's doing it on purpose.
Elephants.
They're very small to begin with, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger until they get heavier and heavier.
Mind you, dinosaurs have gone.
You know, but you. But you know, famously, that's how Atlantis disappeared. You know, you've heard of the legend of Atlantis. Have you heard of the legend of Atlantis?
I think so.
This was a city that existed. It's proven,
Yeah.
right? And what happened was they just kept buying stuff in mail order. They just kept ordering stuff, like the king and stuff. Just kept ordering stuff in mail order. He brought girls across,
Carpets, lot of carpets.
Carpets. He kept buying TV set, big screen TVs and stuff like that. And eventually,
He bought up all the myrrh that the wise men didn't want.
yeah, because he's from like olden times, and he just kept buying stuff, crazy. Like he was just a shopaholic, basically.
Mental it was.
And he was ludicrous. It was like, and in the
it was
end,
too
it just
heavy.
sunk. It just sunk,
Too heavy.
and it just sunk.
So, to the Earth, the more planes we build, the more trees we let grow.
Yeah.
From acorns.
And more than that, what about all the people who are overeating?
There's only
You
one
know,
thing
your Rick
to do.
Wallers in this world.
I think we've got to kill off endangered species and burn trees. That's the only way the Earth can survive. You mental. Right, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, look, quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
the arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks,
Right.
and then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad,
Yeah.
put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right,
That's solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves. And
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, like, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and I'd become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry. How is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing. You didn't even get in the. That's not an. Imagine if that was a film. This is a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, that was Billy Elliot. Do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. All right,
Yeah.
I'm fed up. They banned it. Let's go. Oh, it's shut. Flash dance. First, there was. It's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So. There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice
Solid
there is do an arranged marriage.
if she's not
If she's not
ugly.
minging,
Yeah.
she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing, get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great. Keep your problems coming in.
Truth, Rest Your Head by Gene on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. While I was with Karl in that restaurant, while I was giving him the problems, the old fella with Viagra and the two fellas making love in the cubicle, we came up with a new idea, because he's dumping Do We Need Him, as I say, because he thinks the scientists have got together, they're never going to wipe out a limpet or a slug. They think they're good, but they're not that good. This is people that are lauded as great minds, and Karl has brought them down.
He's taken issue with them.
Like what? He went, right, great thinkers, and I went, okay, then, Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics. He went, is he the fellow with the apple? I went, yeah. He went, there again, see? Why do I need to know that the Earth sucks us towards it, gravity? He said, if I was floating around, it would be a problem, I'd ask his opinion. I went, what about Einstein? He went, again, I've never needed, and this is what he said, I've never needed MC squared in my life. The fella who invented the video, I watch one a day.
You know what I mean, though? Give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And I think that a lot of this stuff that was invented, like when we were talking about inventions, you know, I started to look in books and that, finding stuff out, and there was some fella who got a mention on an invention site just because he came up with the fishbowl. And it's like, is it that hard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's clearly a bowl.
Sorry, you're not putting him in the same category as Newton and Einstein, are you?
He was on the same list. Einstein was on there. It was saying about him doing that, and Newton with the apple, and who else was in there? Da Vinci, whatever. He was
Leonardo
on there.
da Vinci.
Yeah. Is he the one who did Mona Lisa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it took him 12 years to paint the lips. I don't think that's that good. Like, it takes that long. I saw, you know, when you think, saw Tony Hart do like an Aborigine man with a elephant in the background, took about 3 minutes.
Aborigine. An Aborigine?
Well,
Really? An elephant?
So what about some of the big names?
Well,
Just
go on then,
what's
go
your
on.
what's your first reaction when I say some big names from history?
Go on.
Gandhi.
Again, what did he do?
Good point.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
But you do, yeah, all right. Do you understand what he represents?
Well, go on, tell me, and then I'll tell you if he deserves to
But you
be
know
mentioned.
his whole kind of attitude towards peaceful protest. You know, it's quite a sort of modern idea. You know, very much the forefather of the '60s movement. You know, where people would sort of sit in, and protest. You know, through song, perhaps, or verse.
Steve. Right, look at the glazed look on his face.
Did I lose him on Gandhi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Pick
it's not.
someone else. Do someone else.
Pick someone
Okay,
else. Okay.
all
Well,
right.
someone you know about that's obviously. Let's think. A great thinker. Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Right. Yeah, he's all right.
Brilliant. Thanks. What about?
What about Jesus Christ?
Well, I'm thinking more your modern day, like your Richard Bransons and that. Who,
Okay.
like, you know...
To be fair, I wouldn't put Branson up there with Gandhi.
Christ, Newton,
Christ.
Einstein.
But why?
Stephen Hawking.
Because he's mainly known for having a beard and a funny jumper. To be honest,
Yeah,
you have to start including Noel
that's
Edmonds.
that's Noel Edmonds. Yeah, you're getting confused there.
But Branson's a businessman. He's not one of the great sort of scientific
But
minds
I
or
think in
philosophical
time,
thinkers.
right, in time... we
Whereas
would've
Clive
worked out-
Sinclair, in his little car on his way to work, brilliant.
No, but in time, there's certain things, like the apple falling off a tree.
Right.
Whoever was sat there would have gone, that's a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? It's just that
Yeah.
they were there first.
But to be fair, Christ instigated 2,000 years of religion based on his teachings. Richard Branson, to be fair, he did launch Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Yeah,
They're
see
not
the
quite
difference?
comparable.
See, this
Just,
is there.
it depends what you get impressed by, doesn't it? Suzanne's always saying...
Maybe Newton was there. He was coming up with a brilliant theory, like amazing. He was probably inventing the helicopter, right? The apple hit him in the head, and he went, "The Earth's sucking me. The Earth's sucking me."
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Could have happened. But, so, my girlfriend's always saying, what impresses you?
Yeah.
Because she was saying the other day, do you want to go to Egypt? And I said, no, not really.
No.
She goes, well, don't you want to see the pyramids?
Not interested.
It's like I've seen them on the telly.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
are they going to be that much more amazing when you see them
Yeah,
in real
good
life?
point, good point, good point.
Uh,
How did you ever move out of your street in Manchester?
But hang on, no, sorry, I'm interested to know because this is something that that he came up with, and this is someone that loves him and that he respects. So I'm interested to see what was your answer to what impresses you.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, you know, the odd
You
thing.
just said I'm asleep.
Little things. Little things like I ran home the other night and said, "Oh, I've just learnt something today." She goes, "Go on." And you know, Lego bricks.
Oh yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, "Let go of them and come and have your dinner."
Play a record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to
Play
be
record.
It's
rubbish.
always rubbish, isn't it?
Well, they're Scandinavian for a start. So,
The
well,
Scandinavian.
there is no. Let go. Boys are back in town. Thin Lizzy, what a classic.
Beautiful.
Carl, should that be our anthem, me, you and Steve, eh? Eh? Yeah?
Can I just get a couple of bits of admin out of the way?
Go on.
We've had an email from Peter Goff. He has said, "Where is Richard Anderson?"
Where
he
is
only- he only
Dickers?
tunes in to listen to him. and
Where's
it's absolutely
Dickley?
fair
Where's
enough.
little Dicky Docker?
Little Dickie Anders has not emailed in. If you don't listen normally, Anders is our biggest fan.
He
Normally he's got
loves
some,
us. I just absolutely
but he's
thinks the
normally
world
got
of...
a little bit of constructive criticism,
Oh,
which
well,
we
I mean,
always
he's
appreciate.
not- yeah, we're open to that. Sure, sure,
Exactly.
sure.
So-
Robert, you... I'm gonna shove this up your...
So if Dickie Anders is listening, then he might want to get in touch. Also, dear Ricky, I've developed a bit of a fetish for the way you say "winners" in your hit sitcom The Office. I'm trying to get my fiance to say it, but he hasn't quite mastered it yet. Anyway, we're getting married in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks' time. Could you please say "winners" on air as a sort of early wedding
It's
present?
becoming one of the most popular requests at weddings now, me saying "winners." So, winners. There's a few I didn't get in. Fatcham, Shinfield. So there's a Woodley.
There you are.
There you go.
That's beautiful. That's keeping them happy. Good luck to them. That's that's Leopard. One of those stupid email names. If you're going to email us, at least mention your name, because otherwise it makes me sound like a
A
fool.
leopard, the original name for a giraffe.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was
Yes.
invented when a mother had sent someone to get some, though there's no name for them. She went, "Can you go and get some?" There was a gap. He went,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'll go and get some," because they weren't called anything. Brought them back, started playing with her. And then she went, "Look, give me those." He went, "No." She went, "Lego, you idiot."
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together. That's the actual... where did you get that from?
But the thing is, you see, that's where learning's got to be interesting, because if it even started like that, I'd just go, "I'm not interested." I'd be looking for...
Oh, so if a fact may be true, but it's just not good enough.
it's not
just
interesting enough for you.
not interesting enough.
Okay, another quick dilemma for
so
you, Carl.
if Newton would have said apples are attracted to our heads, be careful, they attack you, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Total bollocks, but you'd have been interested, therefore, in all modern physics. All right?
Here's another dilemma for you, a quick one from Kate. She says that she's a single woman, she's 6 foot tall. Recently she's found herself being approached by men of, let's say, restricted height, and she's not desperate, but is it ever acceptable in her, she wants to know now, is it ever acceptable for a taller lady to go out with a person of restricted growth? What do you think about that? If you see that on the street, do you think it looks bizarre, do you think it looks odd, or
So a
should she just
6
go
foot
with it?
woman with
Someone of a dwarfish persuasion.
we can't say sort of that or the midget word, but
You
I
can't
mean
say that, no,
that's
that's
a little fella.
Yeah. Is that, so there's a noticeable difference in their height, is that ever a problem, do you feel?
She's 6 foot, he's 3'4".
Yeah.
If I saw it, I'd just think she's doing it... you
Okay,
know.
okay, let's not do this now.
No, come on, she's doing it what?
Oh.
No, for attention, in a way. Because
Right.
there's loads of
See,
other
I
people...
told you, Steve.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but I'm just... I mean, is that serious?
I think so.
Well, I mean, if it, whatever
God, they
makes you
shouldn't-
happy.
Please don't ask Carl
No,
these
but do
sort
you know
of
what I
questions.
mean? If it makes her happy, then do it. But in a way, you're not going to have a normal life.
Oh, God.
No, but you're not, because they're going to get
I'm
stick. There's no
so
point bringing
sorry.
trouble onto yourself.
Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions
Of
the
anybody
management.
else in the world.
Hold on. This woman, she doesn't live in a forest in a little cottage, does she? She hasn't got long black hair and wears a sort of...
She says the guy she's going out with is a minor. in a
Really?
crystal mine, yeah, and he just sings all day on his
Has
way
he
to
got
work.
6 mates?
Apparently so.
Okay, what do you think of that, Carl?
I'm still sorry, I wasn't listening. I just was thinking about.
Someone just called up and called him dopey,
Yeah, yeah.
didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What you're fed up with people taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going Lego of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say? Even our listeners know you're talking rubbish, and some of those aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week when I did Do We Need 'Em, do you know when I called up one of the museums in a science museum?
Yeah, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah,
that I've got
was I so busy listening to a song I was playing?
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't
Alright,
we?
what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What was her name?
I don't know, I've got it on email somewhere.
Well,
This is not an apology!
No, I'm
you've
just
got
saying.
it wrong
You've not
again!
even said her real name! How is that an apology?
Well, I remember, I read the email, so, yeah, I
But who are you apologising
I
to?
think her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh, you've got it wrong again, haven't you?
Well, anyway, and she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think
this
so.
one that I called up, right? It's nice. You go in, you get a good collection of stuff. You walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs. You've had enough, right? I went into New York, right? Went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move for dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So,
Do you work for them? Because that was a pretty big sell.
well, I just thought I'd
That
mention
you
it.
could work that into quite an advert, I imagine. Brilliant. Carl, you're fed up, aren't you? Because you had to get up early.
Well, that's another thing. But will we give out the answers for?
Let's do that after we've played the next tune. I have to say that I'm wondering if Rockbusters, like Do We Need 'Em, is beginning to run its course, because
Yeah.
this week we've had very, very few right answers. I think you're just getting too complicated.
Yeah, because his clues and his answers are rubbish. Why don't you start doing proper ones?
These are good. We started off easy. If
I
you
don't know,
remember.
I think some of them are a bit tortuous.
They
But
don't
anyway,
work. Some of them don't work.
Come up with some stuff then.
let's play a tune,
Well, I have.
and we'll come back with the Rockbusters answers in a second.
You haven't come up with anything.
The Gravediggers. 1-800-SUICIDE. It's a good tune, that. I've always enjoyed it.
XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it from Ricky Gervais. That's me, Steve Merchant.
One of the 50 most eligible bachelors in Britain. I hope people as well, if you buy Company Magazine, if there's any ladies listening, every week, of course, I've played you a song for the ladies, and I hope now that you'll be able to return the favour and maybe vote for me. Buy Company Magazine, vote for me, so I become the number one
That
eligible
shows it
bachelor.
wouldn't mean anything then, would it?
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't mean anything then, would it? If they voted you and you got into the top 30, it wouldn't mean anything because you've asked them to do it.
What are you talking about? Of course,
Well,
because it means that they care for me enough, and then they are impressed and charmed by enough that they've actually made that effort. That's beautiful. It's a
I think
beautiful
that would ruin it.
Well, let's wait and see what the results are.
Do you think? What do you? I mean, just getting off that, because we don't want Steve to use as a platform to get in the top 48. He's bound to beat a couple of people. But what do you think of him now, Carl? Now you've known him for these many years. What do you think of his looks objectively now that you've known him? Can you remember what you first thought?
Like I say, he's changed a bit. He's sorted himself out a bit.
Yeah.
Looks a bit better.
How was he done? What's he
I
done?
don't know. His hair's better.
Yeah, what was it before?
It was just a bit nothingy. Do you know what I mean? It was like just like if you just let your hair grow and do its own thing. Whereas now it's got a style.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it looks good.
Glasses, he's changed.
His glasses are stylish.
Yeah.
Just stay sat down.
Right, Rockbusters.
Some people like tall men.
Go on.
That's yeah.
But-
Right, first one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was R, which was rainbow. Right?
Rainbow?
Like rain is the weather, and it smells like body
Bow?
odour. body odour. They
No,
say,
it's
oh,
B.O.
It's B.O. That's
It's pronounced
B.O.W.
B.O.
Well, yeah, but you've got to play.
It's not pronounced bow, and it's not spout bow.
Who calls it Bo? Everyone knows it's B.O.
What, you don't care? You don't care that doesn't work?
Well, they got it. So again, as long as
One
they're getting
person got
as
it,
long
Carl.
as they're getting it.
One person got it. Of all the emails, one person got it.
Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat, will you, and help us out.
Go on.
That was R. That was Ronan, right?
Ronan, who's Ronan?
Ronan.
Who's Ronan?
Ronan Keating.
But he's known as
That's
Ronan Keating.
No, it's
RK.
not. No, it's not anymore though. He's gone on his own, hasn't he? He's just known as Ronan.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. It's Ronan Keating.
He's always been known as Ronan Keating.
All right.
So that doesn't work either. Go on.
Third one.
Next.
If you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a little bit before you open it. That was CK.
Right.
Shake a can. Shake a can. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So
It's Chaka.
have you got? a
It's
winner?
Chaka. It's Chaka. It's Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all three right then?
Well,
Well, because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping this.
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
the guesses that were right came from Mandy Thompson in Hendon.
let's ruin
but
that one
frankly,
then. Well, that's run that into the ground. That's Do We Need 'Em ruined.
No, we can't
That's-
just bin everything
That's
on
that's
1 week.
that's. I don't think we're going to get that. Oh, they're not as good as they think they are because you've only picked on Newton Einstein. You don't know anyone else. You don't know who Gandhi is. Chimpanzee, that you've run out of.
I did like the jingle for that though.
Oh, Chimpanzee, that.
That was a great jingle.
Yeah,
But sadly,
well,
we won't be able to use that again.
So who's won anyway?
Well, it was Mandy Thompson I mentioned, but as I say, she guessed, so I mean, she can have the prizes. She's welcome to them. But
There you go.
I think we should knock it on the head, Carl. Maybe you should come up with something
Yeah.
new.
No, I think it's still got a few weeks in it.
I think we should take some time off.
Well,
Yeah. What about like the foreseeable future?
Don't know.
song
does
for
that
the
sound?
lovers. Do you want to just play
A song
that
for the
one?
ladies. Listen, you know what? I think it's maybe the March issue of Company magazine. Buy that. Top 50 most eligible people. There's probably an address or a phone number to call. And here's another song for the ladies, maybe just to charm you further. Tom the Model by Beth Gibbons and Rustin Man.
Carl, say
And the current
goodbye
album.
and say it nicely, like you're happy.
See you later.
Is that the best you can do?